Yeah.
I haven't been down I haven't been to Barrow Street in maybe 3 years, something like that. So I'm guessing it's a lot different than it was.
Oh yeah, it's been a year for me, and it's already very
Really?
different.
I'll probably get a shock. What were you doing in Google before?
I was doing marketing and business.
Okay, cool.
And I was working with lots of startups as well. We had a program called Adopt a Startup. It's a program, like mentorship program from Google. So you can, in your free time,
Yeah.
you can take one company. So they are selecting local companies. It's like a program for local community. So you're taking one company, and they get 3 Googlers on board, one very high level, one marketing, one tech.
Okay.
Because we have engineers there, and
like a Dublin-based company.
It's Dublin-based company.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and like we have a program Adopt a Startup, which is like 12 weeks. So we work with companies during 12 weeks to help them, basically what they need. Most of them are very early stage.
Yeah.
So you help them with validating ideas, some technical thing. You connect them a lot with teams internally, like Google Cloud, some Android, depending on what kind of product they have.
And they get all that free, obviously.
It's all free.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they have like a pitch session showing what progress they made during this program working with us. And they can get Google credits for advertising, for cloud. My guys got like half a year space in Dogpatch Labs, which is have you been there?
Co-working space, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's cool space.
It's very cool.
Underground, they have the kind of vaults or whatever it was, like in the basement they have this cool kind of vault setup. It's really, really slick downstairs.
I've been there like 2 or 3 times, but it's an amazing place.
It's a really cool space. And Dublin before we left, because we were here a couple of years now, it was just Dogpatch. That was the only co-working space. Now you have like Huckletree and you have WeWorks and all sorts of kind of.
You have WeWork? We have
in Dublin now.
Wow,
yeah,
they open it. Wow, that's cool.
There's 2 now, and it's going to be like way more early next year. It's going to be 8 or 9.
That's very cool.
It is cool.
Like I felt
free Guinness on tap as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So like was it the Google, Adopt a Startup that gave you this sort of startup bug to go off and do something different?
Yes and not. I've been working with startups a lot before joining Google.
Okay.
So when I was 19, I was a program manager in one startup incubator in Ukraine. So it was I don't know, it was like industry agnostic, so they were taking early stage companies, they were bringing lots of guys from Silicon Valley, and I don't know, it was like life-changing moment for me, because I wasn't working in tech before. I was studying management, and when I was studying, it was very fancy to work in advertising agencies, all these like 99 francs, so you have this brainstorming session, so it was very, very fancy and very, very cool to work there. So I was thinking about doing advertising career, but when I got there, it just blew my mind. Like
really?
This level of people are a bit insane, because startups is a very, very bad way to make money. Like honestly, there is like 99% that you will fail for some reason, and just 1% that you will succeed if you are lucky enough, if it's the right time.
Exactly.
So it's very, very bad, but most of the people are not motivated by money, are motivated just to do something cool and
build something that's incredible.
And learn something. And this energy, it's
infectious.
It just inflects you.
It definitely.
So
so the new business, what's it all about? Because obviously we're going to chat about Techstars in a sec, but what's the new business? How did you get into it, and what's it called, and what does it do, I suppose?
So the company called Let's Enhance, and it's a meme name. It's a meme. It's a name from CSI movie.
Okay.
It's like when you zoom the image and it goes more crisp and clear, and somebody says like Let's Enhance.
Yeah.
And it was actually, I got into the project very accidentally, because I left Google when I started, like I spent almost 3 years there, and I started feeling that I want to do something on my own, and I want to work with a product, because you work with lots of C-level entrepreneurs at Google from the Google side, and you also like got very, very excited about, like, they are building their babies, they are very, very worrying about what they do. So I left Google without having a plan. I just decided that, okay, I will leave, I will figure out, the universe will help me. And I was thinking about starting my agency, or I had another like startup idea. So I was working with different guys meanwhile. And I just randomly had a call with the people that I know before. Like at first we were 3 founders, Alex and Vlad. So they built this algorithm. It was an idea that they got when they were helping a friend to build an e-commerce website, and the images were crappy quality, and it was just like, what if we can do with that? Starting researching, doing some stuff. It worked. So the idea was like, okay, what's next? Maybe somebody else will need it. So they had this thing, but they had some advisement on the business side, and just friend connected, like, hey, Sofi is here, let's have a call. We had a chat at 2 a.m. and the next day I was like, wow, it's very cool, let's do it.
Yeah, well, it's quite cool. The best companies that we always come across are ones that solve their own problem and then think that maybe other people have the same issue as well. So it's a good way to start.
It was a good and awful start simultaneously, because if I was starting right now, maybe I would do some research before and like doing some plans of launching. No plans. It was just a nightmare. Like it's rolling, and you figure out on the way, and you are in fire. You're like working 18 hours, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
but
crazy.
it's good though. So you applied to Techstars.
Yes.
So did 1,200 people, or
1,250 applications were on this batch.
down to 10.
Yes, 10 companies.
But that's first congratulations, because
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
It's crazy the amount of applications that, you know, and Eamon obviously flies around and finds all these people.
Yeah. I started chatting with Eamon on Twitter, because he has this title like early stage investor advisor. If you're early stage startup, drop me a line.
Yeah.
So I did, why not? So I messaged him, and he's Irish. I know that all Irish people are cool and open. So I just dropped him a line, and he was like, yeah, let's do a call, like 20 minutes. I just wanted to get a feedback, maybe some guidelines on the what we should do. And then he arrived to Kiev, and he was very, very helpful. And as we are working in the new industry, like AI for visual industries, like images, videos, I don't know, GIFs. It's all started like 2-3 years ago. So you don't have any guidelines. So you don't have any successful examples.
Just to make your own path.
Yeah, just to take a look on them and like, okay, we will do something similar in that way. Because there is no, like, of course you have some mastodons and dinosaurs like Adobe, like which are monopolists on the market, but you cannot like compete with Adobe or like follow their path, because Adobe will just kill you if they... Of
course.
So we didn't have any guidelines, and that was like...
Is that one of the reasons you think you were accepted to Techstars? Was the fact that there's nothing really to compare it to, you're so new, it's so fresh. Was that one
It was the reason why we applied. So we applied to Accelerator because we are first-time founders. It's a new industry. It's very exciting. Yes, we have lots of energy. We're working on that full-time. But we need some guidance. We need some guidance from the people who are much smarter than us. So looking for mentorship, it was one of the main reasons. And of course, Techstars, it gives you credibility. Like if you got accepted there, that's the same with Google. That means that you're doing something right.
Of course.
And it makes the process, like talking to partners, companies, investors, much easier if you have this brand behind you, standing behind you.
Of course. Did the company check, because we've interviewed a lot of Techstars,
yes.
right? So, and a lot of them, actually, in fairness, they all have said that the company had changed from the business model or the product or the plans have changed from when they started Techstars to when they finished Techstars. It's not the same. Is that the case with you? Did advisors come in and say, don't do it this way, do it this way?
Yeah, basically we have more questions than answers during the program. So the first month is truly dedicated just to mentorship. You meet 100 people from different backgrounds. And you need to pitch you have just 20 minutes, and then you select like 10 or 5 that you're working with on the same time. So they help you a lot, and people bring their own perspective on your company. And the thing that I learned through the program is that you should be open to any ideas, how crazy they seemed from the first sight. Because we had examples that, like, we came to Techstars, we have the B2C product, like with consumers paying for them, but we had the feeling that like we need to go into B2B and it can work on large scale and we can help lots of companies implementing that what we are doing into their businesses and ask them what they need and build something, because we are like AI companies. So people just started bringing ideas, introductions, and like at some point I was like, whoa.
It's a lot.
We had a brainstorm with mentors, and we like brainstormed like 50 possible applications, and then you just need to just go one by one.
What target did you land on? Is it just consumer?
No, we switched to businesses.
It's just
so
business.
during the Techstars, we tested like 20 ideas. Some of them approved that no, we don't need this thing. Like we have something that already solved the problem. Some of them, yes, they proved. So we are now having it as first like 5 companies, and it was just during 3 months. And we rebuilt the product twice during the program.
Did you really?
Yes, because the biggest thing that we learned that you have the time is limited and resources are even more limited. So you need to build something very, very fast, show it to real companies, and people say, hey, what do you think? Let's test it. They give you immediate feedback, and you go back and work again. So we met lots of entrepreneurs who were successful, like after they had 1, 2, 3, 4 companies failed, and then they have a 5th company that becomes a great success. So it was my big personal insight, like you need to be able to kill what you do without any sad feelings. Like, hey, I was wrong. Okay, let's go.
You can't get too attached to what you're doing.
Well, you're attached in any way.
Of course.
It's your baby. You spend like 18 hours on that. And
just before because I bet we're out of time, but just before we finish up, it's a classic thing that we ask all Techstars people. Right? So Techstars is 3 months.
Yes.
How far ahead is the business, or is it any far ahead, the fact that you've done Techstars?
Yes, it's like we got a big boost. So our 5 companies that we are working with right now, it's all through Techstars network.
Is it really?
And we had like 25 talking to us. And so it's all through warm intros, through the networks, through the, hey, I know somebody you need to talk to, and then the people like, it's all the network effect. This is amazing thing.
Is that the most valuable thing about Techstars network?
It's people. Because we got 2 advisors on board, very industry relevant, with deep knowledge about what we are doing from EI perspective, technical perspective, from industry perspective, like visual, creative. We got companies, we got like potential investors, because some of mentors, they are, half of the mentors, they are investors. So they like monitor how you evolve during the program, the 3 months. You have this personal connection. And some of them like, hey, I just want to give you money because I believe in you. Because Techstars is getting people like team. Market traction idea. It's the criteria. So idea will change you. They are fine if you change the ideas.
That's amazing. Well, look, thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations again on getting into Techstars. And look, in a couple of months' time, we'll catch up and see the progress. Thanks for coming in, though. Cheers.
Thanks a lot for having me.
No
Thank
worries.
you.